Hey there gorgeous souls, it's Sarah again from Cat Like Curiosity, coming at you from behind the camera once more. I just wanted to share again with you, this is part of my Why Creativity series, but I wanted to share again with you some more examples of my creativity in the beginning when I very first started to embrace the creative life, I suppose, and compare and contrast it with some of my more recent artworks, so you can see a kind of a progression, but also so that you can connect with the fact that, you know, we don't all start out perfect. One of the analogies I used with a friend recently, a lady called Joanna, another one of my online friends who I've met, who's in Belgium, I think. Never met her in real life, but met her online. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, one of the analogies I sort of mentioned to her was the whole frustration that people have when they're trying to be creative is that they're not perfect at it straight away. And one of the things I said to her was I felt that way myself. I have been that person going, oh, well, I should just be able to do this, because if I'm an artist, then I should have been born an artist, surely. And, you know, it's an innate talent that I should have. But obviously that's nonsense. You wouldn't expect to go, I don't know, down to your local DIY shop at the weekend, buy a toilet and all the plumbing for that, and possibly even a book that tells you how to plumb it in. You wouldn't expect yourself to go home and be able to do that and within an hour have a fully functioning working toilet in your house, because you're not a plumber and you haven't learned to be a plumber and you haven't practiced and you haven't tried it and you haven't had anyone show you how to do it. So it's obviously going to go wrong. And art is the same type of thing, really, but people don't think so. People think, oh, it has to be this innate talent that people have inside them, and that's not really true. So what am I rambling to say here? What I'm rambling to say here is why creativity, because it's fantastic and it's awesome. Who can be creative? Anybody can be creative at all. You will start out being a bit rubbish, most likely, being a bit pants, not being very happy with what you've drawn or whatever. That's completely okay. It doesn't matter. Everybody has to start somewhere, and everybody then evolves at a different rate, but we all end up, if we persist and if we keep at it, we all end up where we want to be, really. It's all about deciding what it is you want and allowing that thing to come into your life. So I thought I would share with you some of my older creative projects and compare and contrast them with some of my newer ones. So this little I suppose, what do you call this? I did this on a plate of glass, and I put down some acrylic paint, drew out a little pattern, and then put some, it's a print, it's a mono print, that's what you call this. I've completely forgotten the name there for a second. But this little mono print was one of the first creative artistic DIY posts I ever shared on my blog. And it's such a simple wee thing, but I have used the design on cards and things, and it does look quite nice. But it's a simple, straightforward thing, and it's an easy creativity thing that you could actually have a go at if you're not very confident. If you want to find that on my blog, if you just type in the search bar at the top, mono printing, all one word, M-O-N-O printing, that should come up. Let me know if you have problems finding it, because I can post a link to that very first tutorial. So that's kind of my first forays, I suppose, into being more creative. Other things included some sketching that I actually did on an art holiday. I booked myself into an art holiday in Spain, which is fabulous and fantastic. But I did this with some help from a tutor. So this is one of my early works, but it's not one of my early works on my own. So if anyone's looking at that going, oh my god, yes it is, you were just born with this talent, blah, 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 blah. That's not true. I did that being supported by someone who knew what to do. This is one of my early forays on my own, without any support. So you can see the difference, you can see a difference. And as I've kind of progressed on, this isn't necessarily in date order, but as I've kind of progressed on, I've become more experimental with different techniques. So this is just chalk and ink. So I've used chalks and a template to get this kind of pattern. Then I've inked over the top my little kitties. And I've gotten a little bit more free in allowing myself to try different things. So, for example, so this is very simple. It's a jelly plate printing pattern that I did using one of Tam at Willowing's Artist Seller stencils, plus some other stencils and acrylic paints and a brayer. Now this is the type of creativity that previously I would have thought, oh no, that's not really being creative, that's cheating, Sarah, you can't do that, that's rubbish. These are all pre-mixed colours. You shouldn't have to have pre-mixed colours, you should be able to mix your own colours. Any artist worth their salt would be able to do that. But of course that's not true. That's just my inner critic having a field day. So that's a really simple form of creativity. What I'm trying to point out with this one, particularly here, is that all forms of creativity are valid. You don't have to produce photorealistic portraits in order to be an artist. You can choose to produce whimsical little illustrations of kiddies or whatever else you might like onto manuscript paper or vintage book pages or whatever. That's still artistically valid. It doesn't have to be this masterpiece work of art type of thing. This is another piece that actually is a fairly recent one, but it was just one where I just let myself be a bit more creative and let myself go and didn't worry about the outcome at all. And I was just working through some feelings I was feeling at the time. Then we've got more of a whimsical face, but with a little bit more detail. That is one that I actually made whilst teaching somebody else. I often find that the artwork I produce when I'm teaching someone else is a little bit on the dodgy side, because I'm half concentrating on what I'm doing and half concentrating on what they're doing, so it's always a little bit tricky. This is one of my more whimsical girls that I've used as a kind of journal. I also have quite a few of these mantra canvases, so I've chosen a phrase that I love and I've just played with the background. I've just messed around with different mixed media techniques, with collage, with ink, all kinds of different things. So you can be as free as you like. You have permission to be free with your artistic talent and to not think that photorealism is the only way forward. Whimsical is good. Cute is good. Anything that you feel called to create is good. You don't need somebody else's permission in order for that to happen. So you can kind of see these are, I would say, maybe 3-4 years old, and I'm exploring the idea of faces in a more sort of cartoony, whimsical fashion, but I haven't really got there quite yet. Still exploring lots of kiddie drawings, obviously that's very important. Cats are very important to me. But exploring lots of different techniques, different mediums, different ideas, using alcohol markers on vintage book pages to create artwork. All kinds of different ideas, using pro markers and dispensing with faces in order to just let me play and not worry about getting the facial features exactly right, because I know that's something that often has held me back in the past. And funnily enough, some of these faceless girls, as I call them now, they've become some of the more popular pieces that I have. So even though I cheated, inverted commas, cheated, and didn't include the face, it doesn't mean to say that there's anything wrong with it. So there's more kitties, mixed media kitties. Some of these are a lot more recent and will be coming up on my mixed media Moggies course. I've done some cartoon work for people, cartoon versions of cats, and just allowed myself to play with different things and different techniques and different ideas. A lot of these are very, very simple illustrations, but again, they look, I think, really, really good, really, really powerful. Again, this is one of my favourite illustrations, so simple and straightforward, but there's a little mama with her little kitty. How cute is that? And I've kind of worked through lots of different courses. I've been on courses with Andrea Gommel, who does fascinating with the little face stamps. These were created with the face stamps. And then as I got a bit more confident, I started to leave the face stamps alone and introduce my own faces. Let's find something a bit more mixed media. More cute illustrations of people's doggies. So, I'm finding my way through here. There's so much in this portfolio. So, another thing that I've created are some gorgeous goddesses. This is, I believe, my summer goddess from my Capture Your Inner Goddess course. And you can see that I've collaged on some actual dried flowers onto this one. Love it, love it, love it. This was one of the pieces I created on the Lifebook course with Tam. And I love it. Look how sparkly. See, glitter, 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 sparkly, sparkly, glitter, glitter, sparkly everywhere. Fantastic, fabulous. This is one of my oracle cards that I created on a course with Lynn Thurman. And I'm hoping to do the whole set of these and possibly even one day release them as a series of oracle cards. Who knows, we shall see. But you can see that I've gotten more confident as time goes on, and I've gotten a little bit more, I suppose a little bit more photorealistic, although that's never really been my aim. But I've gotten a little bit more detail oriented as I've moved through the different projects that I've created. But it's not an all or nothing thing. You don't have to be perfect at this straight away in order to do it. You need to start from where you are and work up from there to create things that you're happy with. They won't be perfect all the time. They won't be perfect straight away. But they will fill your heart with happiness. They will feed your inner creative awesome, and they will add something to your life. It is possible to do that. So I hope you've enjoyed this little peek inside my portfolio of different ideas, and I hope you understand why creativity is important and why creativity is for everyone. When I first started out, I hadn't done any creative work at all. I didn't have any qualifications in art. I didn't think I was any good at it, but I just started from where I was, and it all grew from there. And now I'm the kind of person who is able to sell my artwork online. So if you want to find out more about me, by all means head to my website, www.catlikecuriosity.com, and do check out the Sisterhood while you're there, because that's the place where I share the most of my creative ideas with people, and it's a place that I can support other people on their journey from not being any good at art, which isn't true, to being able to access their creativity every single day, whether that's to create a paid career as an artist or whether that's just to be comfortable and confident enough at being an artist for their own purposes. So I hope you've enjoyed this little short video, and I'd love you to connect with me in the comments either on Facebook or on YouTube. Have a fantastic day.